All right, everyone, welcome. Today, we're diving into something that is absolutely essential to our entire operation, Switchyard O&M. This is the critical link between all the power we generate and the grid itself. Your skill, right here, is what keeps everything running like clockwork, and more importantly, safely.
So let's jump right in. Look, mastering the stuff we're about to cover isn't just a good idea, it's absolutely essential. This is how we guarantee that our solar assets are reliable, efficient, and above all else, safe. Make no mistake, the work you do in that switchyard directly impacts everything we do.
So here's our game plan for today. We're going to start with the fundamentals, just to make sure we're all on the same page. Then we'll get into testing procedures, troubleshooting, and then the big one, safety. And we'll wrap it all up with the best practices that really set the pros apart.
All right, Section 1, the fundamentals. The best way to think about the switchyard is as the heart of the entire solar plant. It directs the flow, it protects the system, you get the idea. Understanding how it works is the foundation for absolutely everything else we're going to talk about.
So when we say O&M, what do we really mean? It's so much more than just fixing things when they break. It's a whole system, It's about testing, it's about troubleshooting, and it's about being proactive with maintenance so that every single component is working perfectly and safely 24/7.
Okay, now for Section 2. This is where we get into the real hands-on stuff. Think of these systematic tests as our official playbook. This is how we stay ahead of the game, finding those little issues before they have a chance to turn into big, expensive failures.
So, this breaks down our three main pillars of testing. First up, the circuit breakers. Then we do insulation testing. We're measuring what's called insulation resistance, or IR. This is super important for catching sneaky problems like moisture or wear and tear. And finally, we test the protection systems, making sure the relays are set right and checking our current and potential transformers, the CTs and PTs. These three steps are our first line of defense, for sure.
And on to Section 3. So being proactive is great, but let's be real. Sometimes things just go wrong. That's life. This part is all about what you do in that moment. How do you diagnose the problem and fix it fast without making things worse?
This chart lays it out perfectly. You see a problem, like a breaker acting up? You have a process. You don't just start guessing. You check the simple stuff first, connections, wiring. Then you break out the test kits, and you always consult the manufacturer's guidelines. It's about being methodical, not just winging it.
Now let's get even more specific. This is straight from our official checklist too. These are the kinds of faults you're most likely going to see. For breakers, maybe a stuck mechanism or bad signals. For transformers, keep an eye out for overheating or any kind of oil leak. Honestly, knowing exactly what to look for is half the battle. Okay, I need everyone's full attention here, because we've arrived at the single most important part of this training: safety. I'm not kidding. Every single thing you do in a switchyard has to be grounded in our safety protocols. There are no shortcuts. This is about protecting you, your teammates, and our multi-million-dollar equipment.
I want you to burn this sentence into your brain. This is right out of our HSE manual, and it is the absolute golden rule. You never, ever perform a switching operation without getting the green light from the operating authority. There are no exceptions. It is non-negotiable.
So, how do we prevent simple mistakes? We use a technique called three-legged communication. It sounds complicated, but it's really simple. When you get a command, you repeat it back, word for word. The authority then confirms it. That simple repeat-back process kills misunderstandings before they can cause a disaster.
And before a single tool is picked up, you run through checklist 4 every time. Is your PPE on and correct? Are the lockout/tagout procedures followed to the absolute letter? Is everything properly grounded? Is your test gear approved and calibrated? You have to be able to say yes to every single one of these every single time.
All right, we're in the home stretch. In this final section, we're going to pull all these pieces together and look at the best practices, the habits and routines that keep our equipment running for the long haul, and really define what it means to be a professional in this field.
It really all comes down to these three things. Number 1, regular inspections. Just using your eyes to look for wear, leaks, anything that looks off. 2, sticking to the testing schedule. No excuses. And 3, and this is huge, thorough documentation. Every test, every repair, it all gets logged. That log is like the equipment's medical history, and it's absolutely priceless.
And just so it's crystal clear, here's our standard schedule. We're sampling transformer oil every 6 months. We're testing circuit breakers once a year.
and the protection relays get a full workup every 2 to 3 years. This is that rhythm of proactive maintenance that keeps everything humming along.
So, as we wrap this up, I really want this to sink in. Yeah, the Switchyard is a complex beast, but its reliability? That comes down to you. It's your focus, your diligence, your attention to detail. That's what makes our projects at Amtrix Photo Energy a success.
So what's the big takeaway here? Well, your most important tools aren't the ones in your bag. They're your commitment to safety and your professional diligence. So the real question to ask yourself is, how are you going to put that diligence to work on your very next shift? Thanks for your time and attention today.